There we are. Hello, possums. How are you all? Isn't this a surprise? I know she told you I was coming, but I'll bet you didn't expect to see me. You know it's been almost a year. I was on Trisha's over on Sandy and Otto for Halloween last year, and I kept meaning to come back over, but you know, there was so much going on. I couldn't get out of England. How are you all? Look, I'm losing the diamonds tonight. They're just not staying put. Oh, it looks a little tipsy here. We can't have that. Where's that center star? It's hard to tell, especially with all these curls. You know, this is from Charles I. I hear there's a third now. Wonder if he's got this much hair. The first one did, but I think the first one of them, didn't they? You know, not quite sure. So many birthday wishes for Nancy. Aren't you all lovely? You know, I'll let you in on a secret. Nancy learned a very, oh, Nancy forgot to take these off. Nancy learned a very valuable lesson about all these curls. You, you put the mascara on first instead of the curls. You don't do it the other way around. That was a mistake she won't make again, I guarantee that. So I thought I'd come over and surprise you all on her channel. We had no mirror tonight, so we're having a few issues with the tiara here. My crown doesn't want to stay. So how are all you little people that are such friends? These diamonds don't want. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, but not when they keep falling off. They're only a good friend when, you know, you get the diamonds for taking things off. Now, who's here? I see Marianne, Bonnie, Karen, Tia Fane's here. Hello, darling. I think so many of you might be new to the Queen. You didn't see her when she was. No, the Queen's not any tipsy tonight. She wishes. She really does wish. But Nancy doesn't seem to have any scotch left in the house. No good Irish whiskey either. Oh, the Queen's just had a fun time because, you know, Nancy has all these little pussies running around. And they're just trouble. They're just trouble. And, you know, she's had to hide my crown because it's bright and shiny and they liked to play with it, just like my hair. So Nancy had to hide them both. The kittens haven't seen me now. I'm afraid they'll be frightened. I will be visiting Trisha. Our Trisha has invited me back. So I will be there. Though I think with Miss Trisha, you'll see Nancy first. That's not quite doable with Nancy being here by herself. You'll have a blank screen to look at for a while. Well, I'm sure you will enjoy looking at the pile, seeing if you can identify anything back there or if anything's moved. I don't think she will be too happy with that because of how long it takes to fuss with all this. So yes, I thought I'd pop in and help Nancy flog a few things. It's a nice diversion from flogging peasants. I don't get to do that often enough. You know, they say the floggings will continue until morale improves. I've heard that said on pirate ships. You don't hear that in America. You don't hear that in Britain anymore either. There's a general disapproval of flogging. Oh, Miss Marilyn, yes, I don't believe you've seen the Queen either. This royal personages is getting very frustrated with these diamonds. I think I shall try. Uh-oh, oh, oh dear. We're having a wig malfunction because the diamonds are caught. This is actually very long. Very, very long. And I tried wrapping it around, but my neck's not quite small enough to get it around and hook it. And my waist certainly is not small enough to wear it as a belt. So I think that will have to go before it causes more trouble. One can't have too many diamonds, though. Especially when they weigh about 3 pounds. It's an interesting challenge. Oh, hello, there's our Warren. How are you, darling? Found any more paper dolls to play with lately? I know you like them. I don't think Nancy's found any more, though. So, yes, I see lots of smiling faces. You do love me, don't you? It's so nice to be loved. It's so wonderful. Now, let's see. I was going to tell you something. Nancy said if I'm going to start this, I must do it properly. Now, what did she say? Don't refer to them as little people. Oh, I think I've already blown that one. Don't call them pussies. They're called kittens in the States. Well, I think I've already blown that one as well. Oh, yes. I was supposed to tell you that her email, if you have not emailed her before when you are purchasing anything for her tonight, is right. She said it's right in the corner, right down there. And she needs your name, your YouTube name, your Christian name if it's different from your YouTube name, and she needs your email address and your PayPal email address. Is PayPal some kind of money? I mean, we have the pound across the pond. I don't know these kind of online currencies. People usually just give me stuff because I'm a queen. I think that's supposed to be how it works for royalty. I don't think that's changed. Now, she also told me not to be too obnoxious to the little people. Oh, there, I said it again. Oops, so sorry. Now then, what else was there? You had to email her your shipping address. Oh, she ships from this little colony in Pennsylvania, and she ships from this little city called Chester. You know, we have a Chester in England as well. And at one point, they were actually sister cities and communicated back and forth and did things. I don't know what things, because all this was before the war, the Second War. So I don't know what they did. I'm not that old. So I think that was offers. There's something called offers that if you decide something you want to be an offer up, then you put offer in the chat, and then Nancy will change it from a set price to an offer, and it will be open for everyone to go after. I believe that's everything. I understand that's all the usual stuff for a sale when she's flogging the wares. So I know she's been a bit tired lately because, you know, those 5 pussies need to get their act together. You know, it's a large house and it's getting cold outside and they've only caught 3 mice. But they have caught them, which is good. And for once, not like that cat, the doctor she has, they've actually killed the little mice instead of bringing it into the bed and dropping it in Nancy's lap, alive, which is not a pleasant way to start your morning. I can only imagine. So, now then, Nancy, you know, you're never supposed to tell a woman's age, but I'll tell you, It's the 17th anniversary of her 40th birthday. Darlings, you do the math. So apparently 40 was such a wonderful year that she's just repeated it numerous times. I'm told she had her only birthday party then because she grew up so alone. Apparently, this whole neighborhood was full of children during the baby boom. And she came along in 1965, and apparently only so did her 2 other kids, and that was it. So she had friends that when she was 40 threw her a party. Isn't that sweet of them? Mind you, I don't know why they gave her a tombstone cake with black roses, had eulogies encouraged, and said it was something about the death of her lost youth. Must have been an interesting party. Now then, I'm 36. Oh, I do like your math. I do like your math, proud American. 36. That used to be one of my measurements, but I'm not about to tell you which one. So, are there any questions? Do we have everything all correct now? Is there anything you all would like to know from the Queen? I said I would sell all 4 things for her if I can. Oh, shots! Aren't you fun? I wish. Nancy can't do shots tonight because she has to be up and make a phone call by 9:30 in the morning. And apparently her son has plans to drag her all heaven knows where tomorrow because he's not telling. So she doesn't know what's going on. He wouldn't tell me either. So I do know he gave her such, I think it's such a man gift, but she seems quite happy. He's buying her a stove. I understand that the one she has is so old that they can't get the parts to fix that oven, so he's getting her a stove for her birthday. And I know she likes to bake. And he likes making these fabulous cookies. They're chocolate chip cookies that have whiskey in them. They taste wonderful. I wouldn't think of doing that to chocolate chip cookies. One usually eats the chocolate chip cookie with your whiskey in a glass, not in the cookie. But it's quite good. I don't know where this young man ever found that recipe. But she will enjoy when it gets here in November. She will certainly enjoy having an oven again to bake. She doesn't like to cook, but she does like to bake. And she used to make pastries. You know those funny little swans, the little cream puff things with the little heads? She used to make those. She hasn't done that in a long, long time. Now let's see. I don't see any questions having popped up for me. Yes, is that an American thing, or is that usually a husband thing where they get you an appliance and then for your birthday and you're supposed to be so thrilled with it? You can't tell me that everybody's usually happy about that. But she is. She seems quite thrilled. I can't understand that. I prefer jewelry. So, you eat a fig Newton. Don't think we have those. Now, let's see. She had things set for me, and I've immediately lost something. Oh, there they are. The little numbers. We have to have little numbers. So, yes, Nancy will love the stove. Oh, we're tilting again. You know, I can see why Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II used to practice with a crown and then that big fancy one she has, because you know that thing weighs just over 5 pounds. And this thing is much lighter than that, but if you move the wrong way, it likes to tilt. And this one's about 2 pounds on my head. Have you ever seen it? Let me get close. Look at all these rhinestones. You see all of that? Isn't that lovely? This is all metal. Everything's all prong set. It's quite nice. I've only loaned it once to the Fairy Queen for some show called Iolanthe. And Nancy was there every night to take possession of it. She wouldn't let them take it home. She wouldn't let them leave it in the theatre. Nothing. Wore it on stage only and then back to her. Because it is so rare to find such a nice thing here. So, now then, let's have some fun. Now, I know some of you may have seen she did get a little blurb of some of the things she had. She's been busy cleaning out pantries and things because of a kitten went in. We heard the scuffle. Kitten found the mouse. So Nancy and Michael decided to go in and make sure it cleaned everything up. And we found some cool things. But it is that time of year when you have a house that's over 100 years old. The little buggers do like to sneak in when it gets cold outside. You know, they even have mice at Windsor Castle because the little buggers like to come in. Now, I have this wonderful large tin. It's not particularly old, but it does have this wonderful old vintage style pattern of a garland. Oh, there's so much glare. Let's see what we can do. No, it's a biscuit tin. What gets me though is it says a milk chocolate crisp. Now in England, a crisp is what you call a potato chip, and I can't imagine putting a bunch of cookies and a chocolate covered potato chip in here. The crisp would be everywhere in little pieces. But it says it's St. Michael Classical Biscuit Selection. Made in the UK for Marks and Spencer. Ooh, aren't we posh? Now it does have a date that it looks like it says Marks and Spencer 91. So I think this was from 1991. Now I'm trying to get the glare from the screen down, but it doesn't want to cooperate. I think maybe if I turn this brightness down, and I'm even more technology challenged than she is. See how this works. That's a little better. You can see the pattern. Looks almost like a Victorian wallpaper, but it is quite large. Oh yes, chocolate covered potato chips are quite nice. So this is 7 inches across, and that's the long width because it is an oval. And then it's 6 1/4 tall. You could hide lots of potato chips in this thing. Oh yes, the digestive biscuits are wonderful. So if you would like the 1991 Marks and Spencer biscuit tin, this is $6 and it's number 15. $6 number 15. Is this what she does every week? She shows you a pretty picture and tells you how much, and then you all just decide if you want it. I think this is an easier job than I have. It's not easy ruling a country. All those bureaucrats. And especially when you can't get a prime minister to hang around more than a month and a half. That makes things difficult. Oh, hello. Hello, Miss Val. I promised Nancy I would do the first 4 things. So I'm giving it a try. I'm not used to this. And I'm under strict orders to behave. I don't have such restrictions with Trisha. That will be so much more fun. And Trisha doesn't get upset when I talk about my pussies. Nancy said to not. Now then, the next one is another tin. Now this one has Barnum's Animals National Biscuit Company. It's a replica of a 1914 design. What? Weren't National Biscuit Company, weren't these animal crackers? Wasn't there something, wasn't that what these were the box for? I've not seen a round tin in a very, very long time. Does it have a date? Oh, 1979. Oh, that explains why. I was ever so young in 1979. So we have this wonderful tin. Now, I don't see too much trouble with it, but you can see a little bit of discoloring along the bottom. So its bottom's a bit rough. It's all quite clean inside. Now then, if you would like, there we go. If you would like the lovely Barnum tin, well, we should tell you how tall it is. Oh, lovely, it's 6 inches. Everyone likes things at least a good 6 inches. And this one is, oh, what do I do with that? So this one is $6 and is number 41 for the biscuit tin. $6, number 41. Now, choking. What am I choking? Oh, hello, Nettie. Oh, of course I am, but I was told to behave tonight. Somewhat. But Trisha, dear, always brings out the best in me, so won't that be fun? That's on the 29th, which is Saturday night. Oh, I should see about putting the link to her channel in before I choke in something. That's what it says, choking. I don't know who I'm choking, but I'm choking someone. Oh, and Nettie would like the Nettie would like a full 6 inches. I mean, of the tin. It's 6 inches tall. All right, we'll put that one. We'll put that one on the far side. Trisha's, that's what I was going to look for. Miss Trisha. I need to find her channel. Oh, I see Flippin' Crazy is still on. She has quite a lot of, oh, she has a notify me thing up. How lovely. There we go. Saturday night. According to this, Nancy has 46 hours to be ready, and me as well. Let me get the link here. Hold on, possums. There we go. There we go. No, she didn't put down that I'll be there. Maybe that's a secret. Too late. I've already told. Too late. I've already told all of you. It'll be our little secret. There we go. Now then, what am I choking? Oh, choking. Not choking, choking. I thought I was going to have to play with someone and make them choke. Now let's see. So, oh, it says it on the back. And I'm the queen, I don't wear spectacles. This is going to be interesting. So there's what the front looks like. That's the lid. Wonderful little trinket dish. And this is a type of metal. This is a metal plate here. And it says this is made in Japan by Price Products. The art of chokin is metal engravings from Japan are created by the ancient art of chokin. I have to play trombone for a minute. Hold on. No, that's too far. There we go. Gilded with gold and silver, the engravings were originally created and decorated. And to decorate the armament of the samurai warriors. Well, isn't that special? But it is very pretty. There is a little pink color on the sakura, which is the cherry blossoms, and what looks like a peony. And then there's yellow to some of the other flowers. Now, the only flaw I see is there's a little discoloring here where there's not so much silver. But, and I don't think this will show it, there's a signature right there. So it may be that that is the slightly different color just to be able to let the signature show up better. I don't know. But you can see there's little marks to the silver. But it is quite a pretty picture. That's a rickshaw full of flowers. Oh dear. If you'll excuse me. Even queens need to have water now and then. Oh, out of plastic, no less. Oh, what was she thinking? There should be a crystal goblet for me. I shall have to speak to her later. But this lovely little trinket dish is 2 inches tall, 4 inches across, but in lovely shape. There's no chips around the rim. The gold around the edge is in wonderful condition, as is the gold around the edge of the lid. And this is $7 for the token, and it is number 55. What do you call that? Double nickels. We don't have nickels. We have pence. We have 5 pence. So is it a double 5 pence? But it is $7 for the trinket dish, number 55. We'll tuck that over there. It's safe because the kitties are away. They're locked in the playroom. I'm sure they're not happy about it. Oh, hello, Mike C. How are you? Thank you. We'll let Nancy know about all the birthday wishes when she comes back. Now, the last thing I'm going to offer you up is an offer up that I think is slightly scandalous. Now, Nancy said she's never had the saucer for this. It's a lovely little Demitasse cup, and it has these wonderful hand-painted medallions. Will you focus? Maybe not. No? Well, now this one's a little risque. You see she's flashing shoulder there. What is she thinking? In my day, one did not flash your shoulders like that unless you were a slut. And they have all this lovely gold. There's gold on the handle, and there's gold flowers, and then there's this lovely little lady. Nope, that trick just doesn't work with this old phone. But they are wonderful little hand-painted cameos. Or, well, not cameos, portraits. But it's a lovely little thing, except for the one who's a tart. I mean, can you see? That's a tart. Look at where her sleeve is. And the front of the dress is way down. She's a tart. There's 2 tarts on this and 2 respectable ladies. Now, this is an offer up. Oh, I have to type that in, do I? Oh, well, hang on a moment. I'm just going to put mini cup loves because I don't know how to spell Demitasse. Oh, it could make a very nice shot glass, don't you think? Now then, where was I? Oh, ladies' portrait mini cup. There we go. Let's just start that at $6 and see where we go. Now, there are no chips. There's no cracks. There's no sign of crazing. Now, this does say made in occupied Japan on the bottom. But they did it in gold. So it keeps, there we go. It keeps reflecting. So it's hard to see, but it's done in the same gold leaf that the handle is. Now, the oddest thing is that this is rough around the very edge. Not because it's broken, darlings, but there are little teeny tiny dots all around the edge. And of course, you can see the bigger dots here. But there are the tiniest. Someone must have gone insane with their eyes and a very, very, very tiny, tiny brush to put all those little tiny dots all around the edge. But it is a lovely little piece, very delicate looking. Now, when you hold it up, dears, you can see some light through it, which is always a sign of good porcelain. But it is made in occupied Japan and is in lovely shape. So if you like to have artwork of tarts on your cup, this would be a wonderful, wonderful little thing. And if you have a little curio cabinet, this would be a good one for it too. It's all of 2 1/4 inches tall, and I love the shape of that handle. Such a delightful little handle. And it's 3 inches across. And I see, oh, here we go. Patsy, hello, dear. Patsy's giving you a run for your money. Oh, Patty, Patsy, and Val are in the race. Oh, there's our Trisha. We were just talking about you, darling. I swear it was all nice stuff. And we put the link in for your channel and for the sale. And I swear I didn't tell anyone I was coming to it. And if you believe that, I understand that there's a bridge called London Bridge here in the States that I can sell to you. But we have an offer up going for this wonderful little Demitasse cup made in occupied Japan. I do know there are people who collect things for that because it was only a very brief space of time that they marked things that way. But for heavens, I have no idea at all what those years were. But we have the one respectable lady and the flowers, and then you have your tart with her dress off her shoulder. And we are up to, what are we up to? I see Patty Paws for 12. Oh, Patsy's in for 14. If you like espresso, darlings, this would be a wonderful cup for your espresso. I, however, think it might be a lovely cup for some Glenfiddich or some Highland. Jameson in a pinch. So, oh, Patty is now out. Val is too busy laughing. I don't know if she said she was out. Oh dear, where's that mouse? There we go. So we have Patsy M. Dear, do I have your information? I don't know. Nancy meant to start a Rolodex with everyone's names because, you know, she hasn't figured out how to do it in Excel. There we go. All right, then. We shall do the, what do they call it? The going? If it's one of those things called an auction, she should have given me a proper gavel. Must have a gavel, you know. Oh, I shouldn't wiggle my wig. Mustn't wag my wig. My stars might fall over. All right, so we have Patsy M at 14. Going once, darling. Does that mean you're a goer if you keep going? Well, being a goer has a whole different meaning in my country. If you watch Monty Python, you'd know. So let's see. Going once. Going twice with the two little tots. And let's see now. Last call. Oh, wait, that's in the pub. There we go. Sold. There we go. Sold to Patsy M. Thank you, dear. I shall have to work on my accent again for Miss Tricia. There's not enough hyacinth bouquet hiding in this accent. It's been too long. I'm out of practice. So, darlings, thank you all. And thank you, Miss Patsy and Nettie. But this keeps sliding. And I'm sure Nancy would like to come back and spend her birthday with you. So I shall go get her if you all just talk among yourselves, as I'm sure you little people can manage to do. And I shall go see if I can track her down. I do know she's not in with the pussies, because the minute you open that door, they're going to come racing out of there like a herd of sheep. So, yes, if I should ever come, I do keep track of things like that. Well, Miss Nancy does. That if she ever thinks that there's a second part, she goes hunting to find out who she sold the first part to, and she has gotten them two of them. So, I hope you all had a lovely time. I know I did. It's so nice to connect with you little people, all the commoners. And I'm sure you enjoy seeing me in all the glory of my diamonds, even though the ones fell off. But give me a moment to talk among yourselves, and Miss Nancy will be right back. She will be here in a moment. Ow, ow, ow. You lot out there behaving. Hello, everybody. Did you miss me? Had some technical difficulties with one of the bracelets getting caught in the wig. So for those of you who did not see last year's Halloween weekend sale with Miss Trisha, when we all came in costumes, and that was the first appearance of the Queen, we had intended for her to come back and visit. It never quite happened this year. So she decided to come and join me for my birthday. And I hope you all had a good time with that. I think her accent needs some work, though, before she gets to Trisha's. Now, she behaved herself. I gave her strict instructions that she was to behave, because sometimes she goes a little risky there. Oh, she spoke highly of me. Well, that's a surprise. She usually calls us all commoners or peasants. So she behaved. I did tell her she wasn't supposed to call you all peasants. Did she behave on that? I cannot get her to call the cats kittens. Nope, she will not. They're all pussies to her, no matter the double entendre that can be. These cough drops are kind of melted. They're sticking to my fingers. So, oh, she was behaving? Oh, well, that's good. That's very good. She hasn't been out in a long while. So I see quite a few birthday greetings. Thank you all who gave them to me. I do go back and read the chat, so I'm sure she called you commoners. Well, that's better than when she was at Trisha's and referred to you all as peasants and little people all the time. She kept calling you peasants and little people. She's naughty. You've got to keep an eye on her. She's trouble. She's really trouble. So she told you I'm getting a stove. She can't understand why I'm happy about it. No, she's not quite locked in the attic because my knee is not going to let me trek all the way up that far. It is a 3-story house. Usually we just lock her in the spare room that's supposed to become the office for this overstuffed house. Oh, who tried? Well, that was my son texting me. He'll have to just wait. It was my, oh, you bugger. You're in trouble with me, young man. What do you mean we can't have dinner together? My birthday. Yes, we can. You're taking me for sushi. He's not getting out of that easy. He doesn't like Japanese food. I love sushi and udon. So yeah. He's not getting out of that easy. Oh, I gotta blow my nose again. I kicked up so much dust. We were working in the pantry, and the trash men are just gonna love us because there was a lot of stuff that was up high on shelves that I couldn't reach that I knew was all expired by like a couple of years. So it all went out. So she called you commoners. I try with her, I really do. She doesn't like to behave. I hear she sold the little portrait pictures. Thank you very much. Tuck that back in the bin over here. So that's nice and safe. And I have a couple of silly little giveaways tonight. I don't always do that, but it's my birthday. I could do whatever I want for this night. And one of the things I have is I realized I had 2 of these, and this really is just a silly little thing. But when I was 50, I had a mini stroke caused by some medication that just didn't do well for me. And one of the things they did is like, this is supposed to be grabbing something is supposed to be one of the things that, you know, basically it's a stress ball. It's supposed to help your hands get dexterity back, especially when the fun is trying to grab it finger by finger. That's a challenge one, even if you're, especially if you're not left-handed. That was a challenge even before the stroke. So to make it more fun though, I can't be normal and just get a round ball. I got a narwhal. Narwhal, narwhal. I forget the rest of the song, but you can look it up. There is a narwhal song. You can find an animated version. Yeah, mostly. I still have strength issues in the left leg. If I don't do the exercise or walk, I lose muscle mass very quickly on the left side, very quickly, very easily. So when I pinched the nerve in my spine and had all that time where I couldn't do anything, that left side just got trashed. So, but I have a silver narwhal, and then I have this one. Now, it's just a silly little toy, but it is, look at this. You can squish, and he just puffs right back up like a puffer fish. You can just squish him. Boom. So if you need a fun stress ball, you can have the narwhal. I will take, let's see, pick a number between pick a number between 1 and 35. And the first person who gets the number, we'll make it this even easier. Wait a minute. Pick a number between 10 and 35. And the first person who gets the number, I will send the narwhal to. I just think they are so much funner than a normal stress ball because of the fact that they do that. Whoop! I just think that is so funny that they just squish and then come right back up. This was actually in a thing that was a mystery box. Like you buy the little critter and you don't know what one you're going to get, but they weren't actually in a box. I don't see the number yet. I see a couple people close, but you had different animals, but instead of being in an actual box, they had them in these little foil bags. So they were wrapped in a piece of cardboard inside. So I kept trying to feel for the horn. Oh, so close. Narwhal, narwhal, da 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 da. So between 10 and 35. We've had a couple people getting super close, but he's just so good. Look at those eyes. Isn't he cute? The little hearts for his eyes. I'm surprised we have 32 people here and nobody's caught that number yet. No. I'll give you a hint. It's not in the 30s. It's not in the 30s. And it's not below 10. Oh, closer. Ah! I didn't think I'd have this much fun with this. Now I see why people do this. Yes, we have a winner. We have a winner. Nettie got it. Number 29. Yay! Number 29. You're going to Nettie. Okay, you can stop. There we go. Oh, that was was funny. I've never, like, I've rarely, I think in the, you know, between 2020 and how crazy the things were with my health, I don't know if I've had this channel 2 years or going on 3. I don't even know when my anniversary of me having the channel is. That's pretty bad. But it is what it is. I mean, things have been challenging. So I haven't done that before. I didn't realize how much fun that was. Now I see why you guys all do that. Oh, let's see. What else fun stuff do we have? Because as usual, I have not. I started to price stuff, and then Mike came down to go to work, and so as usual, when that happens, there's going to be a fair amount of offer ups. Hey, I purged my stationery today. Well, no, a couple days ago, and I have a lot, like a lot of stationery. And this wasn't even stuff that was in my boxes or in my desk. But this is from 1994. It's a Kathleen Obringer design. But it comes in this wonderful little pouch. Look at all the roses on the back. Now, the nice part of these little pouches is you can use them for other stuff. There's a little thing of Velcro, a little Velcro dot. And then there is stationery. Wait till you see this. So this is the front of the envelope. And this is the back. Gets better. Now, granted, there's only 1 sheet per envelope. There's 10 envelopes, there's 10 sheets. The sheets are made so that they just go in. You don't fold them up. They just go in, but they're embossed. You see how all this wonderful, this is all embossed. The rose is embossed. Each little green leaf is embossed. It's gorgeous. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that if you have something special you want to say, or you want to take a calligraphy pen, practice first on a regular piece of paper, and write a special invitation to something, these are gorgeous for that. These are really, really pretty. I, at one point, had over 50 pen pals back in the 70s and 80s. And then in the 90s, after my dad died in like 97, 96, then I kind of lost track of a lot of them. I've caught up with Sue, who's in New Jersey right now. She was here in the States, and then quite a few others were in different countries. So I have a lot of stationery that I'm not using, and I will never. I realize it's like I'm 57, and I'm like, you know, I have literally boxes of stationery. And I use it with the Boy Scouts. I still write, usually at summer camp, I write to a few people. I'll tuck notes in with your stuff. I'm going through a lot of postcards that way. But I am never, ever in the rest of my life going to get through using all of this. So even if you wanted to use it for some other kind of artwork, that is just so beautiful being embossed like that. And it's a nice size, because it's 7 by something. It's 7 by, the cards are 7 by 5, and it's slightly thicker. It's not as thick cardstock, but it is definitely a thicker paper. So this wonderful little set, come on. And this kind of stationery is nowadays, it's very expensive. I mean, even a box of note cards now, the cheapest ones I saw, Mike and I were out somewhere and I was looking at, and I know I shouldn't, but it was fairy note cards, and it was $16.95, and you got 8 of them. Just 8. To me, having, bought lots of stationery, and I used to be manager of a Hallmark store, and oh, I see I missed. I tried to get this pin up here, but I see I missed. So if you would like to have this lovely unused pack from 1994 of the embossed stationery, this is the roses. I have to write it on my list. Whoops, if I could spell, but this will be $10, number 62. $10, number 62. And for the quality and the embossedness of this, that is still a steal, because that's just such a gorgeous and well made. I mean, I was real surprised when I looked at this that it wasn't from England. And YouTube, I need to refresh for a second because YouTube popped up at exactly the same time on my screen. And I see Marcy. Marcy, you, I believe, are new to me. Just as I think Patsy M is. So please make sure you email me your name, your address. I need your email, your PayPal email, so that I can invoice you and ship to you. Because at the moment, now live on your channel, birthday live sale. I think I can delete that email. And, oh, and here we go. Thank you. And thank you very much for that one. We will tuck that over here. And we'll put that number up there. And I'm sure the Queen did it, but I'm going to do it again, because I will be a guest Saturday night on Sandy and Otto, which is Trisha's channel. And I understand that Her Majesty is invited as well. And Steph from Steph Sells Stuff at the Seashore will be the other guest seller. We had so much fun last year. Kind of decided, I kind of got the feeling that it was almost the last second to show up in costume. And that's when that's when the Queen arrived. That's when the Queen arrived, sounding like something between Bucket Hyacinth Bouquet and Dame Edna. So have to work on that accent. That was a lot of fun. Now I have one other pack that is the same, 1993, same artist, and also Carol Wilson Fine Arts from Portland, Oregon. And I just noticed something. I wonder if it's on the other one. On the envelope on the back of this one, there's actually a signature down here. It's printed on. It's not handwritten, but that's the artist, is Kathleen Obringer. Now this one, it's made to look like a watercolor, and so you have blackberries, and you have these wonderful wild rose, and some. Now I can't tell because these look like rose hips. I guess these are more blackberries that haven't turned yet. So yeah, there's a full bit of makeup, and there's actually a different base on. The lighting's still not quite right because the kittens knocked the 5 kittens with the zoomies when they're now what, 18, 20 weeks old. They knocked that floor lamp over. 1940s floor lamp. Actually, I think 1930s. And they've done something to the big bulb in the center at the top. I tried putting a new bulb in, and it won't light. So they've knocked the wiring a little bit. And we haven't had warm enough or good enough days for me to get Mike to carry that thing out to the picnic table for me to have a long enough space to lay the whole thing out and dismantle it and see whatever I can see about the wiring. That maybe they knocked something loose. Because I sure hope they didn't bust up the socket, because I don't know how to do that. So that'll be an issue. So, but the lighting, I know I'm like paling out on this side because, I have one lone light bulb, but it's one of the smaller ones. And with the bigger light bulb, they're a 3 watt. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you can set 3 different settings on the bulb, but the bulb's the size of almost the size of a baseball. The bulb is huge. And they're not easy to come by anymore. So, so my lighting still makes me look a little paler than usual. Oh dear, don't do that. Well, I will have to steam the first one because the first one is stuck. The first one is stuck to the first piece of paper. But as I said, this is the same artist. Let me show you the envelopes. These are a little bit different in that these are more of a watercolor image. Now that's the back of the envelope, and then that's the front. And these, the pages are meant to be folded in half because this envelope's a bit smaller, and the sheet of paper is a bit bigger because the sheet of paper on this one is 6.5 wide, but it's 9 inches long. And look at the cover on this one. You've got the blackberries, the wild rose, the leaves, and then you've got the rose hips. And all of these are all embossed, and it's got that same embossed pattern all the way around. Now with these, the paper is more like paper. It's about the consistency of like the really good quality copying paper. So these you can fold in half. And if you fold it in half, it'll fit right into the envelope. Hello, Maria. Hello, darling. Maria is another one with a wonderful channel. You know, I just realized, do I have any mods in tonight? And Warren was here earlier. We're gonna, okay, Maria, I just made you a moderator so that you can add your channel in. You can add the link to your channel. It should have made you blue. But this lovely set, and I will very carefully try to steam this one to separate them. But this lovely set is the same thing. It is 10 envelopes and 10 sheets of stationery. And they are just absolutely lovely. Now they also come in one of these great pieces, though this one has the top button. Are they both? Oh, they're actually both there. So both pieces of Velcro are there. It's just that this one came off from down here. So it does still have the Velcro for the little pouch that you can use again for whatever you want to use it for. So for the because they're either blackberries or raspberries. But for the set of the other embossed, the blackberry stationery, this one is also $10, and it's number 43. $10, number 43. Yeah, I know I have some neat stationery, and I'm trying to put stuff away. Thank you, Patsy. See Patsy M for that one. I've been starting to set aside, as I find it, Mary Engelbright stuff, because I'd love to have a sale one night that is just Illustrator stuff, which I think would be fun. So now, behave yourself down there. Let's do does anybody like McCoy pottery? I have a McCoy pottery piece. Now, it does say, there we go, that way. It does say McCoy on the bottom, and there is a number, but the white glaze is so thick. See how it is very hard to read, but it is definitely a McCoy. It has an old chip on the bottom right there, and on the bottom on the other side, it has a spot where the glaze missed, and you can see how thick the white glaze is. Any blue and white stationery? No, at the moment I do not. And those were the only two stationery things I had tonight, because that's what I found. I'm not up to where I can even get to the boxes of stationery yet. Most of them are tucked in the attic from when I came back to inheriting the parents' house. A lot of my stuff's in the attic. But I do have this really nice, it's not a pristine white, it's like an eggshell white. And it's nice and clean, though when you look inside, in the bottom, there is light crazing down in the bottom. And white McCoy planter. We're going to do this one as an offer. I don't know how to date McCoy. I think this is one of their earlier pieces, because I know there's a number up there, and it's the round circle with McCoy in the middle, and then USA. And the copyright symbol is over here next to the big circle. Oh yeah, it actually would make a good water bowl for a pet if you wanted to. I do have a small McCoy collection, but this doesn't quite fit in with the things that I really want to keep. So I thought I would offer it. This is one of the ones this is actually one of the earliest pieces of McCoy I ever had, because I inherited this from my great aunt's house. And so I thought, I shall pass this one along. We're going to start it at 7. I'll type it in. And as I said, I have not dated it to know when they used that particular marking for McCoy, but I do know that this is an old piece. we're going to start that at 7. If anyone is interested, there's, as I said, there's no chips around the rim. There is crazing, though it's hard to see it. There is crazing around in the bottom, but it is, I mean, you can see it's all nice and clean. There she is. Hi, Lisa. I mentioned you earlier that you were live while I was live. I hope things went well for you. But this neat little McCoy planter is 5 inches across, and it's 3.5 inches tall. And as I said, the only 2 flaws are that there is an old, and you could tell, I mean, it is an old, that's an old chip. And then on the right up, directly opposite, there's the chip, and then directly opposite is where is a glazing flaw. Come on, where's the camera? You can see where the glaze just didn't cover right there, but you can see how thick the glaze is. That white glaze is amazingly thick. That's why I had such a hard time reading this. But it is the circled McCoy, like it has the circle and then McCoy in the middle, and then this little tiny copyright dot right there. At least I think that's what, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And says USA underneath, but I cannot read the number. It's something 38, and I can't quite read the first one. And I know you guys aren't going to be able to decipher it at all. But it's really nice having all this fluting and then a nice flat spot, and then more fluting, and then another flat spot on the opposite side. But it's really kept up its nice eggshell white kind of coloring very well. Because sometimes the whites, especially the early whites, the glaze picks up all the friggin' dirt. It gets marked up pretty easily. But this has lived in it. This used to live in a china closet for a long time, and then it got packed away, and then I decided that I would offer this one up. And I see Val M for 7. And Lisa, why don't you put the link? You are a mod for my channel, so why don't you put the link in for your channel? Drop that link for Flippin' Crazy. And if there's no other interest, then I'll start calling it. Now, one thing that this does have a little weight, because this is an earlier McCoy piece, and their stuff always was really nice and well built, solid. Most of the stuff I have is vases. I don't have that many planters except in the yellow. And this is my only white planter. And that's why I thought, you know what? Kind of lean towards the other stuff. So I'll share the wealth. Oh, I'm so glad you like McCoy. I like McCoy too. So we're going to do going once. And oh, good. There's Lisa's channel. Lisa does a lot of jewelry, not just vintage, but contemporary. Everything from collector's pins to rhinestone. And then sometimes she has jewelry supply sales, which I've picked up some fantastic things there. I haven't been back in a while, though. So where are we at? Going twice. And sold. Sold for 7 to Val M. Thank you, dear. Thank you, thank you. We'll put it back here with the narwhal. Put that with the narwhal. Now, I have this big guy. Isn't that a gorgeous, gorgeous cover? Absolutely gorgeous. I do admit I bought a pack of stuff of ephemera from Jody, and it was a couple of these books, and I have the one I wanted because I wanted it for the artwork of the cover, but it turned out that I actually had this one. Oh, you're starting to do other stuff now, Lisa? Awesome. Yeah, I know you're trying to down stuff, and you've got that antique mall booth. I've seen some cool stuff when you've shown videos of that. Oh, somebody found my buttons. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Melissa's resell and handmade. Yeah, you guys don't see any. I did one sale where I was a guest with handmade stuff, and then I had to stop because I have not had any time to hand make anything. And I ran between that sale and the Etsy, my Etsy store, I ran out of stuff. Oh, yeah, I know the feelings of being exhausted. Thank you so much, dear. You get some rest. Ah, that's your friend. That's why the name sounds familiar. I've seen her on your channel. Oh, because I'm like, Melissa's resell and handmade. I know I should know that. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for stopping by. And I did tell Maria to drop her channel, and she hadn't. So there's Maria, California Thrifter. And Lisa, if you want to drop Melissa's channel in, go right ahead. Oh, Marcy, thank you. I see your email there with your information. Thank you very much. Oh, you did? I missed it in talking, I guess. Oh, that's all right. Can't hurt to have it in there twice, right? So we have this wonderful, wonderful oversized book. Now, this is a Walter Foster publication, and they did a lot of these how to draw books in the days before oh, I've drawn a blank on his name that used to have the show on PBS with painting. And you know, if you made a mistake in the sky, oh, we'll make it birds. It'll just become little birds. Can't think of his name. But this guy, Walter Foster, the booklets for painting of him are gorgeous. I mean, now look at the back. This is why I wanted this one, because thank you, Bob Ross. Because I thought, you know, in the spring, you could stand this up and behind things and have this wonderful, you know, little porcelain stuff in front of it. And it turns out that I actually already opened up a box of books and went, oh, I have one of these. Okay. From that, one of the boxes from the inherited book sale. But it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. And then inside, he's got all kinds of it. Not only will it teach you about painting, but just the graphics and the images inside are really, really really cool pictures. Except there's a hair from the queen stuck to it. He's even got step by step about a face, but look at how good that face is. The man was really good. So this one is for the how to draw with pastels, which was something that I used to do a little bit of. I never could figure out the depth perception part of it. So I was never good. My mother was fantastic, and so was my one great aunt. And I actually have some wonderful stuff. Like this blows me away, right? Doesn't this look like a photograph? That's not a photograph. That's one of his pastel artworks. But just for display wise, that back cover is everything. That back cover is everything. So this is for the pastel, the pastels book, and it is $7. I forget. I know I should have looked it up earlier for the date. I forget when he did stuff. If it was the 30s or the 40s. I know they reprinted his books for a long while. And you can usually find them online. And the prices vary depending on what topic it is, as well as what stuff, what the cover art looks like. So for the pastels book with these gorgeous roses, it's $7 and is number 67. $7, number 67. Oh, that'd be awesome, Lisa. Now that my spine is healed a bit more, I can actually start being guest again. We're slowly getting everything caught up. Mike's actually got his business degree and has actually got more free time since he's finished college. So he's helping more. So don't be a bum, hit that thumb. Lisa, that's funny. I like that one. The other one I have is one of his that I don't actually understand what he's talking about. How to paint with Casein? I don't know what Casein is, but it does say watercolors and tempera and some word I can't pronounce and oils. But this one is a lot of, seems like it's a lot of landscapes. So this one, I think, would be great for the ephemera value. Good night, Lisa. So if you want to do collage work or decoupage work, or use this one for junk journaling, I think that's where the value of this one comes in, because some of the images are very big. Some of these you could frame and have one of the kittens is awake. If you little monsters cause another avalanche out there, I'll wring a neck. So there's a video where I did floor space, how wonderful it was I found floor space, but that floor space started at a cost. They knocked over a box that had a bunch of porcelain in it, and my only Art Nouveau piece of porcelain was in the box, because some of what was in the box was stuff for me. And it was the first time I've ever gotten my hands on one that was not a reproduction. It was real. It had embossed pansies on it, gorgeous Art Nouveau, like arms out the side, and they shattered it, and I just cried. But no, I was determined to go through everything. How they move that heavy box, I have no idea. But Gimli's a monster. He's heavy. So I have floor space. I actually have there is nothing in the powder room now except the drywall to fix the wall, a big mirror being safe from the kittens, tucked against the wall, and the serger because I had nowhere else to put it. But they use the serger to hop up in the sink because they like to sleep in the sink. Do y'all have kittens that do this, or cats that the modern sinks that are rounded? I have found two of them. Usually it's Frodo and Arwen. The two, they're kind of smaller, and they'll curl up in the sink together and sleep in there. And they hop on the serger first to get up in there. So, but I have floor space. I have floor space. I have a tiny little floor space in the pantry now too. I'm so happy to have floor space. But this one had, look at, there's all these smaller images you can use too. So, so I would say for this one is definitely more of a, not necessarily for the decorative value, but this one you could use for all the different landscaping images. I like the mountains up there. And use it for junk journaling. So use this one for the ephemera value. So I don't know what case it is. So we're going to call this one the landscape book because there's like two images in there that are people, but everything else is landscapes. So that one would be $6 and number 13. $6, number 13 for this one to use as more of an ephemera book, so you wouldn't feel bad about cutting that one apart. Okay. You had one that liked to do that? I've never had one that liked to do that. Never had that before. All right, we are gonna do a Christmas offer up. Somewhere, I might have more of these. This is a vintage paper mache ball container made in Western Germany. It's got all this lovely paper inside. It's made for them all to stick together. Has the original thread loop. Has extra thread that comes down inside. This one has, both sides fit together. So like they made these paper mache things. They've made these for a century at least. And they were made to put little candies and stuff in. This one has Santa hiding in the back. And you have these little angels, the lit Christmas tree with the candles. There's also a little gnome, lovely little gnome. And I was having a hard time figuring a price on this because in researching it, I couldn't really find, I couldn't find, like I was trying to find ones that were similar to this and I couldn't find them. And they are very light. But when you get them and you find out that the outer frame is very, very thin, even this part, this is very, very thin wood. And when you look at these, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, can you see that there's actually very thin little lines? Might be able to see it better on this way. So there's very thin little lines here. Because this is actually, the wood is actually split to make the dome. But man, they are super thin. And then they have the image in paper over top, and then they shellac them. Now, I know somewhere I should have a bag that has more. I found this one all by his lonesome. So I know these are really cool, really collectible. The only thing I found odd with this one is that the string, the little thread part is not, you see it, it's not centered. It's not centered to the picture, which is unusual because usually they are. But that's something you could easily put a new thread and very carefully glue it around here and here instead of trying to poke it through and create a new hanger. But because this piece moves, you could always center it up on that side and then hang it that way. So like I said, these West German paper mache decoupage balls, I don't know what a good price for this would be. And so, because I didn't research it, so we're doing it as an offer up. We're starting it at $6. And oh, I should type. I got to back up in my seat again so I can get to the keyboard. I can't wait to have the office done because then I won't have the keyboard hiding on me on a shelf below me. There we go. We're going to start that at 6. I see Nettie's already jumped in there while I was typing. That's okay. But yeah, it's really cool. And I mean, you can see the size of this. This is the size of a softball. This thing's not tiny. This thing is absolutely not tiny. It is 4 inches across. And back in the day, Christmas balls used to be this size. I actually have some antique German blown glass Christmas balls that were inherited, handed down through the family from the 1800s, and they are this size. This is the size that in the late 1800s, this was the size of Christmas balls, especially in Europe. From my other grandmother, my dad's mother, there were some Polish, and we're not Polish, but they were made in Poland and were pre-war. And she had some beautiful hand-done pink Christmas balls that had scenes painted on them. So I know that size is not at all uncommon for these candy containers, but it's such a cute image. I love that it's got the little gnome on it, the little red cap. That's cute. Even got little birds hiding and a rabbit. So I see one offer with Nettie for $6. And I don't see anybody else coming in for that. So we're going to start with our going once. I do know that I've seen the Easter eggs more than I've seen the Christmas ornaments of these things. So, and this one I'm pretty sure is a little more modern because like I have 1 or 2 Easter eggs that I know are pre-war because I inherited them, and they just say Germany inside. And the Easter eggs are more known and more sought after probably than the Christmas ones, just by virtue of you spot them more often, and you can find even older, really older ones over here in the States of the Easter eggs. But it's such a cool little thing. I thought I'd offer it and see if you wanted to share. Oh, what was that? All of a sudden, my phone did the little black screen of death, and then I was back. Don't scare me like that. All right, and we are, whoops, that's not the enter button. There we go, and we are sold to Nettie. Thank you, thank you. Now, I have this little thing, and I don't know what language it has. Import du Japon. Japon. And import is spelled IMPORTE, and then it has DU, and then JAPON. So it was imported, but not to the US, because that's not English. And then what's in the center looks like something written in Japanese, in the old kanji. Good night, Nettie. But this either was, this may have been a pin cushion, because there were a lot of things, but this would have been a little more higher end because of the decorative value. There were a lot of novelty pin cushions where they would fill it and then there'd be a little piece of velvet balled up in the center. But this would make a wonderful little, you could stick your keys in there, and you could just use it as a trinket dish. You could raise a bonsai plant. It is a lovely little piece, and you can see that the painting work on it, it's all hand painted. Now that's what the top looks like. But even the feet have little black feet. That's painted. Has a cobalt blue background, and then the flowers on the edges. Now it does look like they did what's a partial transfer. In a partial transfer, the black lines are what's transferred on. So it's literally just a line drawing transfer, and then they color in all the colors. And that's what this looks like to me. Now there is a little wear. You can see the gold there, but you can see where it's worn a little bit on the corners. And I can tell you, it's from picking it up like this. Whoever was using it all these years later, picking it up like that, that's caused a little wear on the points of the gold around the edge. Most noticeably, like this one right here, these two. These two are the worst ones of the wear. But it's still a lovely little piece. Even to just have it on a shelf as a little decorative thing, that's a really nice little paint job. So this is for Japanese, I don't know what to call it. I used to just call it a little mini planter. But for the little porcelain Japanese mini planter, it'll be $7, number 58. It's $7, number 58. They really did a nice job. I really like with the pink rose that they actually did some darker color to give it depth. And it is 3 inches across, and then it's 2 inches high. So I like little stuff like this, because little stuff like this you can like tuck into the blank spots on a bookshelf just as a little pop of color. So I always thought that was pretty cool to do. And so I see note takers for that. That's okay. And I have another giveaway for my birthday. And it's It's a little bag of little tiny vintage ephemera that was what they called scraps. They probably were all in a some of them have glue on the back marks that show that they were, see, were probably in a scrapbook. But these are definitely Victorian. They were probably advertising cards. And this one is a shoe that's a sled pulled by a dog. There's this little tiny one. These are all small. Now this one I'm betting had originally been a cigarette card. Probably John Player. Oh no, it says Arm & Hammer, Church & Company, New York. So this is an American one. I want to show that last. This one is, I think that the wording is in German. Lovely little ship. This is a set of 3, which really, if you do dollhouse stuff, would make, if you could figure out how to make oval frames, would make great little images for in a dollhouse, because they're really neat, small little ovals. There's 3 of them. And then there's this little one, which has a thread running through it. And it's actually a fan. Now, I know what one of the things these were used for is sometimes these were dance cards. And you would put a different gentleman's name on them. This one has not been used like that, but each one has something on it. One says truth, one says friendship, constancy. The rose says love. Now what's that? Remembrance, sincerity. Now it's quite possible, though they have forget me not say truth, but it's quite possible that each little flower, the words match up to whatever the meaning, because there were a lot of the language of flower books. They believe that each flower had a special meaning, but you could, while the thread is loose and doesn't hold them tight anymore, that would be so cute framed. But all these little ones are another little giveaway for tonight for anyone who would like them. So I would need a number. Let's see. How about, let's do this way. Hang on. Oh, I dropped a few. Oh, there we go. There's a number. We'll use that one. So I need a number between 10 and 40 for the little giveaway of the little bag of the small Victorian ephemera. I need a number between 10 and 40. And so that'll be for the giveaway. I see Marcy's got her number in. Val, your number is too low. Between 10 and 40. But they are really cute. And I have played around a couple times trying to make little oval frames for those 3, because I was going to put them on a long time ago. I used to make little pictured things like that for in a dollhouse and sell them. But I could not figure out an oval frame. You know, when you're carving with matchsticks to make your own frames and popsicle sticks, it was beyond me figuring out how to do oval frames for those little guys. But yeah, so I need a number between 10 and 40. We're close. I see a couple people that are close. but I haven't seen the actual number, and you'll get this for free tonight. So, but they are some pretty little ones to have. And oh, so close. Oh, nope. Marie's just gonna keep going. Come on, I know we can do it. We've had what? We've had 2 people really close. Da, 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 da. Everybody knows that music. Such cute little stuff. You're so close. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me. You're all in the right ballpark, but nobody's got any. Yeah. Oh man. This is harder than gay bingo. Come on. Boy, I missed that. I've been to that a long time. The drag queens that run the bingo in Delaware are awesome. They used to be a heck of a lot of fun. Oh my Lord. So close and yet so far. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think we've hit everyone within that 10 numbers but the right one. Oh. Okay, come on, come on. I'm gonna double check. I'm pretty sure I never saw it go past me. Nope, no, still haven't. Nope, nope. Okay, come on, give me between 10 and 30. I'll narrow it down between 10 and 30. Somebody's got to get the right number. You can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. Somebody out there can get the right number. Yes! Yes! Yes, Marcy! Marcy got it. Yay! I saw every number in the 20s except that one. Yay! Marcy got it. Oh, that's funny. We'll tuck that over there. Congrats, Marcy. I was watching every number in the 20s come up and not that one. Mm. That was funny. Oh my goodness, that was fun. Okay, let's see. We did the little Demitasse, and I have everything I've got left's an offer up. I did not plan that very well. So let's get them all out here, because I have 4 things left, and they're all offer ups, because I just think that'd be the fairest way to all of you and to me, because I did not get a chance to look them up. One of them I did try to look up, couldn't find it. Actually, I know I won't find the other one, because I know they're too old. The only regret I ever had is the fact that we sold off hundreds. I personally stopped counting at 400 when we were packing up my great-grandmother's and great-aunt's salt and pepper collection. And that was in 1984. And we sold hundreds of them at yard sales and flea markets. And then eBay came along and we found out just how much they were worth all those years later, especially as a lot of the collection was from prior to World War II. So there was a lot of fantastic 1920s, 1930s and figural salt and pepper shakers. And this is actually one of the oldest ones from that set, that is a set that is from the 30s. But have no maker's mark on it. So we're going to start this as an offer up at, we're going to start this at 10 because it is rare to find these older salt and pepper shaker sets. This was in the video. It is a 3-piece set. This is one of the ones from the collection that was my great-grandmother's. Now, she died long before I was born. My oldest siblings, the oldest two, both said they can kind of remember both great-grandparents. But I didn't come along until 65, so they were both long gone then. But this one comes in a little tray. The style of house, when you see the roof like that, where it's longer on one side, is what is from New England called a salt box house. And so you have the two of them, and they have the little dots are different, and I didn't put a starting price. That would help. That would help. Salt box house. We are going to start these at 10 because they are definitely the rarer ones to find, and not they are older. There is no maker's mark. The bases are in good shape. They do not have the original corks. There is, and this is a firing flaw. This is a firing crack right here, but it does not go to the inside. I tested it myself. I put salt in there. I put water in there. Nothing comes out of that crack. That is a firing flaw from the pottery being made. It has a heavy white glaze over the outside. These types of houses usually wear clapboards, so they even have the lines on the ends drawn in there to give that impression. And they come with their own little tray, which again, there's nothing, there's no maker's mark. But it's meant to be, I guess it's meant to be the grass around it. And that's one thing that by the time these salt and pepper shakers, the novelty ones and collecting them, got so big in the 40s, they stopped doing this where they had it as a 3-piece set. They often, the early ones, had a stand that you sat them in, the really early ones. And so this is a wonderful, in great shape because there's no chips or cracks. There is a flaw to the roof that's a manufacturer's flaw right there. You can see where, and I think it's a mold flaw because the glaze is all over that. The glaze is right down in there. That's not a crack. It's not a chip. The glaze is in there. I think it's a flaw of the mold because it's also right here too. And a lot of these early ones that were figural were very simple and basic, like these are. And they weren't what we're so used to from the 40s. So this is definitely a 1930s, maybe even 1920s figural salt and pepper shaker set. And the only, like, now there is, and you probably noticed there is a dark dot there. That's actually in the piece under the glaze. But they are a wonderful little set, and I don't see anyone taking that up as an offer. That's okay. We can pass on that one. Oh, there's Val. So I've had these, and I've just thought they were so different. And actually, I kept them because they were the oldest ones, and I knew the provenance that this was the oldest part of the set. So I see Val in at 10. And if there's no other offers, I can start calling that. If you want to see some of the other fancier figural ones that have the salt, the pepper, and have the mustard pot, check out my I have a video I did where we were cleaning out my china closet, which was basically my cabinet of treasures. And there were very few of those full big sets. So we were each only allowed to pick 2 of those great big sets. And I have 2. And I have them, you can see them in that video. Because I have a lady coming out of a carriage. The carriage is the pot, and the footmen are the salt and pepper. And then I have a shepherd sitting on a log playing a flute, and the log, the stump he's on, is the mustard pot, and the sheep and the dog are the salt and pepper shakers. And they all have this lovely, gorgeous base. And even that, those 2 are pre-war. So. That's okay, Val. Going twice. Well, you know what I meant. I missed the O there. Okay, and sold for 10 to Val M. Now, this is another piece that this was in the video. And I see I should have taken a toothbrush to get some of this dust out of the corner there. I'll clean it up. There's a little bit of dust right down in the groove right there. This is an interesting piece, and I don't know where it ever came from. The flowers on it, see if I could put something in there to show the floral. They kind of remind me of like an Edelweiss. This was in Mom's cabinet of stuff. So I suspect that this might have been something that was brought back and given to her one of the many times that my aunt went to Germany. And uh-oh. Is that a crack? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Are you a crack? Oh, you bugger. At some point in cleaning it and it being in the dish rack, the bugger cracked. There's a thin little hairline there. Now, it stops at the flower, but there is a crack there. That was not there when I went to clean it up. Yeah, it does go through the both sides, but it stops. It stops right at the flower. Can you see a little line there? Darn. Bugger. Well, shoot. There's one on the other side too. Well, I can't sell that in good conscience. So that one's off the mark. You know, the thing was dusty when I washed it. That flaw must have been in there because I did know and was going to tell you that there's one lone little chip here, but that's got a crack on either side. Yeah, we're not doing that one, guys. I cannot in good conscience sell that one. That's a no. No, no, no. But we still have these guys. I have a gorgeous Lefton kitty because kittens like to eat. So I have been saving this because I've wanted to have an animal sale, and I decided no, I'm gonna put it up now. This is an offer up. It's got a sticker. The sticker is in great shape. Lefton, Lefton trademark, exclusives Japan. It is H6364 is the Lefton make model number on there. It is gorgeously, gorgeously painted. Absolutely gorgeous. And this was one that I was gonna put it on eBay, and then I thought, nope, you know what? I'm gonna have some fun. It's my birthday. I'm gonna offer it on my birthday as an offer up and bring it to you guys first. This wonderful, wonderful kitten. And the start for this kitty. Whoops, not 99. No, no, no. That looks like $8,000. No. We're going to start this probably way too low, but we're going to start the Lefton kitty at 8. But it is gorgeous. There's not a chip or crack. There's no crazing. And look at those blue eyes. This baby is absolutely stunning. I've had this so long that I don't even remember where I got it. It has lived in my china closet since I was. Now, I inherited the china closet in 1984. I wasn't allowed to inherit any furniture that wouldn't fit in my own bedroom. So all I got from that house was the china closet that was furniture. And so I was 19, and this was something I had not long after that. It was one of the first things. So even if I got this when I was 20, I'm 57 now. So I've had this baby for a long time. And it had been packed away. I love the fact that, can you see the texture of the fur? Like, yeah, it's smooth down the back. But when you get to here, when you get to the edges of the tail, when you get to the haunches here, down the leg, down the middle, even on the chest, you can see all the mold lines. That's not painted in, that's molded into the actual figure. All those hairlines. This is absolutely one of the top end, wonderful kittens that Lefton did, and it's not one of the small ones. It's a bit on the larger size, because this baby is, to the tip of the ear, is 5 inches tall, and then and then is just over 5 inches this way. It's like 5 1/4 this way. But it's just in fabulous shape. I have taken really good care of this one. There's no chips, no cracks. There's no signs of any kind of crazing. I don't know where there would be crazing because it doesn't have a high gloss finish. But it is just gorgeous. And I know I picked it up because I liked absolutely how much detail all this fur lines that was in the mold to make it look like the actual fur. Just absolutely loved it. And I thought, and usually when you find these, it's the tips of the ears. When you find these, the tips of the ears or the tips of the tail, those are the spots that always seem to usually be chipped, but not this one. This one's in absolutely gorgeous condition, still has the original tag, has the original code number of H6364 if you wanted to look it up. Beautiful, beautiful example of the finest. Lefton has a whole line of animals. If you ever find one of the Lefton books, they have a whole line of animals that they did, and most people don't know that. They know that the figural, the vases and things like that, and some of the decorations that are for holidays, like the cracked eggs, little egg dishes. But they actually did a whole line of animals, and they did a lot of cats and kittens. They've actually did some that are meant to hang on the wall of kittens and cats. I have a white kitten somewhere that would hang on a wall, but they actually made ones that were more life-size kittens that were meant to hang up, which to me was funny as can be to have a kitten like hanging off your wall. But this one is a beautiful stand-up one, absolutely lovely. And we have Val has come back in at 11. Lois, dear, I have been worried about you. I sent you an invoice and then I tried to send an email, and that one for some reason didn't go through, the email. So I was just hoping you were okay because I haven't seen you in a while. So, so Val is at 11, and Lois, you can let me know if you want to go in any higher. It's just the two of you. And but yeah, this is so pretty. There's not even any wear, I guess, because I haven't really handled it any, but even the nose, there's no wear to any of the paint anywhere. You know, I know this wasn't an inherited piece, because if I were going to inherit it, it would have been from Annie Floss and her massive collection of dog and cat stuff. But I'm pretty sure I picked this up later, bought this on my own somewhere. So we will have, I'll put in going once, and then take a moment to write down that that I'm selling my Lefton kitty, my Lefton cat. And we have Val. Val is at 11. And okay, Lois, I will double check your spam folder to make sure it's not in there. Oh, thank you, Lois. Lois let me know she is out, so I have going twice. And I will double check and make sure that I have the right email for the invoice, because you had changed your email and I didn't realize that until I was looking at emails this morning. but then Michael took me out running to do stuff and check out stoves. So I didn't get a chance to get back to it because I might have sent the invoice to your old email. But so all right, so we have going twice, and so we're gonna put our sold in to Val for 11. Thank you very much, Val. And the last thing we have is the other salt and pepper shaker set, which is from that big collection. Funny part is like when you see it penciled in, it has a number, and then it has what looks like $3.85 and then tax. I don't think you could see it. It's so faint. It's in pencil. It's on. You're welcome, Val. Oh, Lois, you poor thing. Is that why you had to change the email? Yeah, double check for me. Send me your thing again to make sure that I've archived and kept the right email. I would greatly appreciate that. But yeah, darling, I finally had the flute all done, all carved after numerous tries to hand carve a flute for that lovely statue of the shepherd and girl that you had wanted. So so I have that and other things that needed a taller special box for you ready to go. So you poor thing. I have had a wallet stolen once, but I've never had the phone taken. But anymore, you really do have to worry about those things. So, and Val, I'm sure you will because I know you love kitties too. I made sure kitties had can of wet food and dry food out there. So what happens is they eat and then they fall asleep. And Mike and I both were playing with him for about half an hour before he left for work. So from like 9:15 to 10:15. So we were deliberately tiring them out so that they wouldn't do any damage to anything in the playroom. I think they're all just sleeping out there. So the last thing then tonight will be this salt and pepper shaker set. It's the mouse and the cheese. And this is one of the ones I had kept from the big collection because I thought it was funny. There were so many varieties of mice with cheese. There were salt and pepper shakers where the mouse actually was in the cheese. There were different size ones. We found variations of similar types, but you know it's amazing. We never had when we cleaned out that massive salt and pepper shakers collection, there were very, very few. I think we found under 5 duplicates that were exact duplicates, which is amazing when you consider that salt and pepper collection was started by my great grandmother sometime in the 1930s, if not before, because I know packed away, and I think it's in the Foot Locker, which we still haven't gotten to because I had to stop doing the Black Hole Challenge room because of hurting my spine. But the Foot Locker in there, we still haven't opened, and I'm pretty sure they're in there, that there were chalkware, Little Orphan Annie and her dog Sandy salt and pepper shakers, and Dick Tracy and whoever the police sergeant was from the Dick Tracy comic strip in the newspaper. Those were from my great grandmother. And so I still have those tucked away somewhere. So that's one of the things I'll have to do live on air when we finally get back into where I can get to that in the Black Hole Challenge room and actually do that live with you guys where we open that up and go through it. But this was one of the variations. He has a tail. His tail is up the back. He's scratching his little ear. And but they don't have, no maker's mark, no cork. I'm convinced that she took the corks away. A lot of the hundreds of salt and pepper shakers we had didn't have corks in them. So I don't know if they were sold that way early on and you had to get your own corks, because some did. Some had screw tops or screw bottoms, so that they actually were made with threads to screw on, and out of porcelain. So but this guy is pretty cool. So this is an offer up for the mouse and cheese salt and pepper set. And this is a vintage pair. This is not a modern reproduction. This is, I guarantee you, this is a vintage pair. And I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the mouse and cheese, if I spell right. Did I do that right? There we go. We're gonna start them at 8 because they go on eBay. They're going for auction and they're starting at more than that. I like how fat he is. He has a tummy. Look at him. He is stuffed on cheese. He's got a tummy. I've never seen a mouse with a tummy. Not like that. And he's just scratching his ear. And he's so, so funny and so cute. I mean, that's why I kept him, because I just thought he was so much funnier. He had that comic. Now, he's got one hole in the top, and he's 3 inches tall. And that arm sticks out a little bit, and the knee sticks out. So he's like 2 1/4 wide. And there's no chips. And I've been looking, and I really expected to find crazing on him, but I didn't find any. And now the black does look like the black is overpainted, where it's painted over the glaze, but not on his whiskers, just on his eyes and his nose. But as you can see, his nose is perfect. It has not worn off any. Neither has his little toesies. And then the cheese is just a lovely, nice yellow. That has 2 holes. Now, how do you decide which one's salt and which one's pepper? I guess this one would be pepper, and then the salt, because salt, that's a fair size hole. Salt's going to come out pretty quick with all that. But it's a wonderful pair, in great shape. Is there any crazing starting on? Because most of our salt and pepper shakers, she had some cut glass ones that she used on the kitchen table. She never used the figural ones, so they were in china closets for years. So they never had any real wear to any of them. But I don't see any offers for these, so that's okay. But they are a really nice set. But you have to like your mouse and you have to like your cheese. Not for everybody. I have seen on eBay a reproduction of that, but they don't have the mouse, is not anywhere near. They have the mouse, and he is grabbing his ear, but the mouse is very slimline. He doesn't have the tummy. So and he's not as big, and neither is the cheese. So we will pass on that one. That's okay. And do I have anything else to make up for not having that one? Nope, nothing handy. Nothing handy to make up for the glass being cracked. So that's okay. we've gone through 14 things, did 2 giveaways, had a lot of fun with having the Queen come and visit in the very beginning, and my voice has not been ready to hold out for being online for 3 hours. You can tell it's starting to crack now. That's because this time of year is allergy hell for me. My worst allergy is leaf mold, and all the trees are starting to drop their leaves. So it's, oh, sorry about that. It's not uncommon for me to start having a sore throat, a perpetual sore throat and stuffed up nose, until we get the first freeze, where it actually freezes everything and kills all the leaf mold. So I hope you all had fun tonight. I had a great time. It was so fun to be able to bring the Queen back on my own channel. So, and I will be on Sandy and Otto on Saturday night with Trisha and Steph. And no, we don't want the note. I want the link. Here is the link to Trisha's channel. So, this is the link actually to the notice of her Saturday sale. It's this Saturday night, and there will be a visit from the Queen. Will be there, and it was so much fun. I had intended when we did that the first time, I was going to stay in that. And it was so funny because it wasn't actually meant to be a personality. I was just, and then I started messing around with the accent. And then this whole birth happened of the Queen. And I just, it was very difficult to keep that up for as long as I did. But it's easier when you have someone to play off of. It's a lot harder when you're here alone by yourself. But she definitely has a much naughtier streak when she's playing off other people. So it will be interesting to have her back on Trisha's sale. I believe in my playlist, there's a playlist for sales I've been a guest on, and I believe I have last year's sale with Trisha where the Queen made her first appearance, if you want to see that. She didn't stay for the entire sale, but that whole the first half of it, she's there just causing havoc. So I hope you all had a great time. I had a fun time. It was nice not to be alone for my birthday. That's one thing that sucks is you get to be an adult. Birthdays are fun when you're a kid because, there's stuff to do. There's parties. And when you're an adult, it doesn't happen so much anymore. Especially if, you don't have a close-knit, family. So you guys have made my day a lot more fun. And I thank you for that. Mike surprised me with one other thing tonight. He asked me before he came down to leave for work, give me a number between 1 and 3. So I said 2, and he comes down and he hands me Hallmark ornament from this year. It's David Tennant's Doctor Who. And it couldn't be more perfect considering the big surprise, which I don't have BBC America. I don't have any way to see Doctor Who other than the clips I see on YouTube. And the shock when they had the regeneration and David Tennant is back as the Doctor. And I squealed like a fangirl from the 1950s. They couldn't have made me happier unless they'd brought Tom Baker back. So that was a great surprise. He talked about the stove, so I kind of suspected it was either going to be birthday or Christmas. I kind of thought it was going to be Christmas, so that was a little bit of a surprise. But that ornament was a big surprise. And so that was fun. Oh yeah, I absolutely. This will always be. This is the birdhouse that somebody sent me when my channel first started, and it will never ever see the outside. And it's going to be in the office when we get that black hole challenge room sorted out, and I have an actual office in the house to do all this from with shelving. God, I really want shelving to put things on. That's going to always be somewhere in that room because I've been a Doctor Who fan since they first started showing Tom Baker's. They showed Pertwee's first, and there's a whole story about that. But then when then it was rediscovered it later. By then they'd already gotten pretty far through, I think, in the season 2 of Tom Baker, showing it here on the PBS stations, and I've been a sucker for it ever since. Absolutely love it. So, so enough of the geek moment. So, hey, have a great weekend, everybody. My voice is starting to go, and it's starting to hurt. So I will see you, some of you, I'm sure, at Trisha's sale, and I'll see you around in the chats. And next week I will get back to you about if I'm going to be live next Thursday. There's some things up in the air that I may not be around that night, because I might not be getting home until after midnight. So we'll see how that works out. So, but I will certainly get a video up, and maybe if I find time to fit it in, maybe a pop-up live work with me will happen. I'm still working on that because I got one of those things to wear the phone like a GoPro, and it doesn't hold the phone. The phone just keeps popping out of the thing because I had wanted to do a work with me and try something new, and that didn't work so well. But I'm gonna keep trying. So that way we can all keep each other motivated to get through our little challenges of sorting out and tidying up and whatever we need to do in our daily lives that day. So have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you around. Bye.